Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving right into something I know pretty much all of us have felt at some point. I'm talking about that incredibly heavy, almost universal burden, the crushing weight of other people's criticism mixed with that deep, aching exhaustion you feel inside your own head. If you've ever felt completely paralyzed by the noise of everyone else's opinions or totally trapped by your own internal urge to just throw in the towel, well, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're unpacking the psychology behind why shutting out that noise, and specifically why working in silence, is the absolute key to building undeniable success. Because, as it turns out, arguing with your doubters actually drains the exact cognitive energy you need to build your dreams.
Okay, so let's look at a guy named Zane. Zane was quiet, totally ordinary, and honestly, the kind of guy nobody really expected much from. You'll never make it. Those were the words literally thrown at him on a daily basis. At every family get-together, he was the punchline. Teachers doubted him, his friends thought his ideas were crazy, and you know what happens when the people you love constantly tell you to just settle down and be realistic? Slowly but surely, you actually start to believe them.
Now, on the flip side, meet Adam. Adam didn't come from money, he didn't have any secret shortcuts, he was just a regular guy working a job he really didn't like, buried under bills he couldn't seem to escape. Every single night he'd lie awake and just whisper to himself, maybe this is just who I am, maybe I'm not meant for more. Adam had tried starting 100 different things, a side hustle, learning a new skill, but the second things got genuinely tough, that internal fatigue just took over and he quit.
So this perfectly captures the two massive forces working against us. On one side, you have the loud, relentless external doubt telling you to just settle. On the other, there's that silent internal fatigue whispering for you to quit. Zane was battling the external noise, while Adam was fighting the internal exhaustion. And both of these weights, they are absolutely crushing. They literally siphon away the exact mental bandwidth you need to actually move your life forward. Eventually, both Zane and Adam hit the exact same wall. The lowest moment. They found themselves just staring at the ceiling, feeling like complete and utter failures. Zane even caught himself thinking, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm just not enough. And I know it feels like the end of the road when you're in that spot. But here's the absolute kicker. Staring at the ceiling, feeling defeated? That's not the end. Actually, scratch that. It is exactly where the ultimate comeback begins. Right in that lowest moment, Zane had this quiet, almost crazy epiphany. Something inside him just completely refused to die. This tiny voice asked, wait, what if they're wrong? What if you just haven't really started yet? And right then and there, Zane realized he had to stop arguing. He saw that constantly trying to explain himself was a massive energy leak. So he made a choice. He completely stopped trying to sell his vision to people who were never going to buy it anyway.
Meanwhile, Adam is having his own major shift. He's exhausted, ready to give up for what feels like the millionth time, sitting on a park bench on a freezing, rainy evening. And he's watching this old man slowly planting a tiny tree in the pouring rain. Completely baffled, Adam walks over and asks, why plant a tree right now? You might never even get to sit in its shade.
The old man just smiles at Adam and drops some profoundly simple wisdom. He says he's not planting it for shade today. I'm planting it because someone, one day, will need it. He then told Adam that the best time to start was always yesterday, but the second best time is right now. That simple act, putting a seed in the ground without demanding an immediate reward, it totally shattered Adam's old way of thinking.
So both men go through this massive paradigm shift. They trade the exhausting noise of seeking validation for the quiet power of learning, building, and just moving forward. Think about the psychology here. When you stop broadcasting your goals, you cut off those premature dopamine hits. You're effectively tricking your brain. By withholding that cheap instant reward of social approval, you force yourself to do the actual hard work to feel satisfied.
That brings us to our first core concept, the silent grind.
Zane's new playbook was super simple. First rule, no announcements. No grand social media posts to people who honestly didn't care. Second rule, no big promises. He just went totally dark. While his doubters were sleeping or laughing at him, Zane was quietly learning and building. But the absolute key to the silent grind is that third point. He just showed up every single day. Just him, alone, putting in the reps. For Adam, the silent grind boiled down to a tiny, incredibly powerful phrase. One more day. He realized his issue was never a lack of talent, right? His problem was that he always threw in the towel one day too early. So he made a micro promise to himself. When he wanted to quit, just give it one more day. When nobody believed in him, one more day.
He just committed to the next 24 hours. It's a brilliant way to bypass your brain's paralyzing fear of massive, long-term effort.
Now let's be real, the silent grind is grueling. Days blur into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. And for most of that time, your results are completely invisible. There were days Zane desperately wanted to quit, days when the doubt in his own head was way louder than his family's jokes. When you're in this passage of empty, totally unrecognized time, that's exactly where the urge to quit spikes to its absolute highest.
But Zane did something amazing. He took the pain of his family's laughter and turned it into raw fuel. Every single time he wanted to stop building during those lonely nights, he remembered how they mocked him. Their doubt didn't break him. It built him. That is the true superpower of working silently. You stop wasting your energy fighting the haters, and you literally start using their negativity as the engine that drives your momentum.
Which leads us to the next phase of the journey, the delayed harvest.
Because nothing happens overnight. But after months and years of that quiet effort, Zane completely transformed. He went from being mocked and ignored to mastering his craft and becoming undeniably unignorable. That specific skill they mocked him for, he mastered it. The dream they all laughed at, it became his staggering reality. The kid nobody believed in suddenly became the guy they literally could not overlook.
And you know what the great irony is? Those exact same doubters, the ones who laughed at him, eventually came back around asking, "Wait, how did you do it?" Zane just smiled. He didn't even need their approval anymore. Through the quiet repetition of the silent grind, he had already proven his worth to the only person who actually mattered, himself.
That same beautiful, delayed harvest happened for Adam, too. That seed he planted in himself on that freezing, rainy night, it finally broke through the soil. The business he was ready to walk away from ended up growing. The guy he thought he could never become, he became him. All because he adopted that quiet, one more day mindset and absolutely refused to stop watering the soil when no one else was watching.
So let's talk about reaching your next level. If we put it all together, here are the core rules for your own journey. First, stop begging people to believe in you. If they doubt you right now, good. Don't argue. Just work in silence and let your success make the noise. And please remember Adam's rule. Never quit one day too early. If you're exhausted and ready to give up today, just remember, you aren't failing. You're just early. Your big breakthrough could literally be 24 hours away.
Ultimately, the best revenge in life isn't really revenge at all. It's not getting angry, it's not yelling, and it is for sure not arguing with people online. The absolute best revenge is undeniable, silent achievement. It is simply becoming everything they said you never could be.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. Are you ready to let your success make the noise? It's time to embrace the silence, stay focused, and just keep planting those seeds. Commit to the silent grind, give it one more day, and watch how it takes your life to the next level. Thanks so much for joining me as we unpack these insights in today's Explainer, and I will see you next time.